why did you choose to leave America and then go to Korea and then Korea to China and being in China for so long? What is the journey? Why the journey? How has it been so far?
That's great to get reverse interviewed. I'm not used to that, so thank you so much for being such a great co-host with me here. When I originally left the United States, my original intention was to move from one country to the next for 10 or 20 years until I had lived in like 10 or 20 countries and then go home. After I moved to Korea, plan was working out. But then I got to China and I was just like, life can be like this? Because the safety thing is a huge thing. In America, I don't think people understand. Like, people have guns like everywhere. It's like, you know, there's more wealth in America than a lot of other countries. But, you know, people have guns. They actually shoot each other. I've been robbed at gunpoint before. I've had cars stolen from before. When I got to China, after a few months, I was like, compared to my life back home, I felt just so much safer here that I couldn't imagine leaving anymore. And I just threw my old plans away and I was like, I'm just going to stay in China. Wow. How about you? You've been here 4 years. 4 years.
Yes.
When you finish a master's degree, what's your plan?
Well, I may choose to stay in China because, I mean, safety, it's really safe here, but I mean, I'm not really sure if I would go with the plan or maybe move to another country like the Europe or Canada. I'm not really sure, like the plan is not really fixed. However, if I have an opportunity probably to get a stable job in China after my master's degree, why not? Why not? Like, why not? It's really a safe option here. Yeah.
You mentioned your bachelor's degree was in Chinese and that you were a translator. Is that what you're studying in your master's as well? You're studying Chinese translation?
No, I'm currently doing public administration.
Sorry, could you say that again?
Public administration.
So what do you want to do? What's your goal? What's your career goal with that?
Well, first of all, I would say learning Chinese first was an ease, and I definitely hope it's always going to be an advantage to my education and my life. And learning currently public administration, I want to be a diplomat. Okay, a diplomat. Learning Chinese, I foresee Chinese being maybe top one spoken language in the world.
Wow,
I'm not
sure. Old.
I'm not sure. Okay. I'm not sure. Maybe English still up there, but maybe Chinese. Mandarin English like that. Which is how it is right now because the world is changing. China is really going up to be something else, right? So having this language and probably equipping myself with maybe other important languages, and now I'm studying public administration. That means I would probably have to work more with the public in the future, like the management, HR, and just something public. So having English and Chinese, the knowledge, like these two important languages, having them equipped with my master's degree, I think it's going to give me a higher opportunity to get jobs, and even if not jobs, trying to solve problems that relates to the two languages. Yeah, so that's my plan. So like my YouTube, I try as much as possible to translate in English and Chinese, so I keep that like notch. Yeah, so it helps people out there because sometimes we have to really help people to help ourselves, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, I mean, I knew I didn't ask you if we could talk about anything that has to do with international relations before we agreed to do the show, but since you mentioned diplomacy and you're from Nigeria, and Nigeria is part of the Belt and Road Initiative, right?
Yeah.
So, China is going in, it's helping build subways and train lines and stuff like that. Given that, a lot of Nigerians are going to need to communicate with Chinese, business persons, Chinese diplomats. Do you see yourself maybe being an integral link and a translator between, Nigerian leadership and Chinese leadership in business deals around the Belt and Road, possibly?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that would be really cool, actually. That sounds amazing.
I really hope for that, really. I would love it, because Nigeria and China, at this point, I would say China is my second home, to be honest, because I'm not only living in China, and breathing China. I am waking up with China. I am learning the culture. It's even trying to surpass the culture I learned in Nigeria, because I'm trying to forget a whole lot of things while this Chinese culture is really sinking into me. So having to be from like Nigeria being my motherland and China being a place I've really learned, lived and loved, and trying to learn the culture. I think working for these two countries would not only make me happy, but also it would definitely make me feel at home, because it's definitely like my first home and my second home. So working like this would make me feel very happy. So I really hope, yeah.
Plus, if you got to work in that capacity, you could spend time in China and you get to go home and be with your biological real family. Hi, Mom, I'm back, right?
And then when I come to China, hi friends, I'm back.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's nice.
So what are you? What are you doing right now?
Well, I mean, I do the podcast, I do influencing, I do radio, I do all this stuff. So this is kind of what I'm doing. But I'm also working, my thing that I'm really interested in right now is I'm trying to write several books. So I wrote a book called Exporting the End of Poverty. It's about the Belt and Road, actually. So China, everyone knows China basically erased what we call absolute poverty, which is not poverty. There's still poor people in China. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to send a mixed message here, but it got rid of people living on less than $2.90 a day, according to the World Bank definition of absolute poverty. So starving poverty is gone from China. And so China is now trying to export some of those techniques. They're sending scientists and doctors abroad to other countries. So I wrote a book about that. And I'm working on another. I've already published a book. So that book is actually at a publisher's foreign language press, FLP, where they're processing it in Chinese and English. I've already published another book about just daily life in China. And now I'm working on another book right now where I'm talking about, internal poverty alleviation and how China governance kind of works. So I'm really trying to get into publishing and try to reach out into like magazines and newspapers and that kind of thing. And it's a lot of fun, actually. It's really fun because you and I talking, it is comfortable. I'm having fun, but I actually think I come across better on paper. Because on paper, you can write down your thoughts and then later you can go delete the thing you didn't want to say and add something else. And it's kind of fun in that way. Yeah. But I'm planning on staying here. I have my green card. So I've got that worked out. That's one of the benefits of having.
Oh my goodness! I mean, people will actually kill for that. You know that, right?
Oh gosh! Don't let them kill me, please.
Congratulations, Jason. That's a big one. And it's great. It's great. I mean, wow. To be honest with you, I've always wanted to write about being a Black girl in China, because I feel like that's a very, very important thing to write about, and also of being a student in China. And a lot of people are students in China, but they don't talk about the main experience. So I've thought of it, but I'm not much of a writer. So hearing you say you want to write about this, I feel like you're doing a great job, Jason.
Well, I have a friend. He's from England. He takes his words and records them into an audio device, and then the computer writes them down. Then later he edits them. So, you're an excellent speaker. you've been doing podcasts for about a year now. If you just got in front of your microphone and started talking about your experience as a Black girl in China, or as a student in China, what the real life of a student in China is like, then the computer will type it up all for you. All you have to do then is go back and edit it. So, yeah, that's all you have to. That's the easy part, is refining what there's a comedian. He said, I can't remember his name. He's he's either Key or Peel from the comedian duo. But he says that when he first starts writing, he's a script writer for movies. He's just shoveling sand into the box, and then later he turns it into sand castles. So shoveling sand into the box is writing, and making sand castles is editing. So if you could just have all your sand in the box already, because you just had the computer write up your words, then you just have to, make the sand castle.
Okay, you are really inspiring me right now. This is one of the reasons why I love podcasts. I love podcasts a lot. Okay, that's amazing. So how would you, in one word, you've been here for 11 or 12, going to 12, right? 12 years. How would you classify your life, not like China, but your life in China in one word?
In one word, security.
Security. Wow.
The reason I say that is, in America right now, you have like the haves and the have-nots, right? People who are very wealthy, maybe 20 or 30 million people who are fine and everything's going great for them. And they all have retirements, and they're on, Forbes talking about, oh, I'm going to buy an RV, and how am I going to spend my $2 million that I've saved for retirement? I'm going to Maui or whatever. And they have their own conversation, and movies are made about their lives. And then you have, the other 250 million people who are like, working 2 jobs to pay the bills, and everything is a struggle. And the groceries becoming more expensive is hard. And so they don't have, So for me in China, I have, the ability to retire when I get into about 60. It's 60 now, but probably it'll be older later, 63, 65, whatever. I will be able to retire. Things don't cost that much, apartments don't cost that much. Food doesn't cost that much. So I feel security living in China, knowing that if I need to go to the hospital, I can go to the hospital because I have the people's insurance. And there's a hospital next to me. I go there, I spend like 30 kwai. If I have a very severe illness, maybe 100 kwai. So that's in America. If I went to the same issue, I would be spending thousands of dollars to deal with that. So I feel security in China, almost like a safety net, the way that society works and kind of takes care of itself. What about you? Same question. If you have to, put your entire life in China into one word.
Okay, let me think. I have 2 words, so I'm trying to match them into one word.
Ooh.
Let's see. Okay, I would say convenient. Okay, convenient. It's quite convenient because convenient in the sense that you literally can you can have your phone for a whole year, and that would be very okay. You can order whatever you want. Not only food these days, you can order something. When I was sick, Jason, I couldn't leave my house, but I had everything I needed. So that's the convenience that I wish a whole lot of countries like Nigeria can have. So I would say one word is definitely convenience. And if you ask me another word, it's definitely security.
So wait, I'm going to translate into comedy what you just said. You're saying you like China because of ulama.
What was that? Ulama. Oh my God. Yes, please.
Yes. I guess you use it arrival.
Not only ulama, Meituan, and also the train stations. The fact I don't have to move on with cash. I have everything on my phone. I have everything. Oh my! I have everything on my phone, and I do not have to worry so much about cash being misplaced or, stuff like that. It's just convenience.
Can I talk? This is not to do with what we're saying. I just think it's a little interesting. I'm going to Harbin next month, and it's really cold. And yeah, I'm going there. I'm going to the ice festival, the major global ice festival, the biggest ice festival in the world. That's why I'm going. But I found out it's negative 41 degrees when it's windy, which is minus 41 Celsius. So that's like, I don't know, minus 50 Fahrenheit or something. It's cold. Oh no, maybe minus 30 Fahrenheit. It's very cold, and almost dying cold. But what happens is your phone will shut off if you take your phone out of your pocket and it stays out for like a minute. It'll shut down because it's so cold. The electronics stop working. You just mentioned we don't have cash. I don't have any cash. So one thing I have to do between now and before I leave for Harbin is go to the bank and get some cash in case my phone dies and I need to take a taxi back to the hotel. So I need a card with the hotel address on it, and I need cash to tell the taxi where I'm going, because my phone may literally stop working while I'm there.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's why I'm saying that, not only because of the phone or the Ultima or the Meituan, in general, like I just mentioned in like the earlier minutes about how I found my house. I didn't literally have to move around in the streets and, hi, do you have the house for rent? Stuff like this. No, I had to do everything with the apps, and knowing that these apps are convenient and safe. I mean, what more can I really ask for?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.